Congratulations on growing tomato plants in your tower garden. Here's how to ensure producing the best tomato harvest possible. Before we start, you should know the anatomy of the tomato plant. There's the main stem, the trunk of the tomato plant, the node, the part of the main stem that the side stem grows from, the internode, the section of the main stem between two nodes, the truss, a cluster of tomatoes, and the dominant growing tip, the tender young shoot of the plant, a frequent site of pruning. Pinching and pruning can give you a stronger plant that produces more tomatoes than one that is left alone. Pinching is just like it sounds. You use your thumb and forefinger to break off the soft tips of young plant stems. When a plant is pinched, it produces 2 stems instead of 1, so you get an extra branch and more tomatoes. There are 2 main reasons for pruning. First, it gives you a nice bushy plant that produces a lot of fruit. Second, it helps make sure one side of your tower garden doesn't get too weighted down with an out-of-control plant. Both determinate and indeterminate tomato varieties will benefit from a few pruning best practices. For the difference between these varieties, see the growing guide on our website. Always use clean cutting tools. If you've recently used a tool to cut away diseased plant material, you don't want to transfer the disease to your tower garden. Simply wipe down the pruner blades with an alcohol swab as you go from pruning one plant to another. Always pinch or prune within an internode of the plant. When you pinch or prune, always leave a stub of the stem or branch remaining from the cut point. Don't cut one branch cleanly off another. Remove the leaves of the lowermost mature branches when they naturally begin turning yellow or brittle. This helps to prevent fungus and disease. Indeterminate plant varieties need to be pruned throughout the growing season to keep them contained and build plant strength. When your new plant has 6 leaves per stem, it's a good idea to start pruning. Make the cut right in the middle of the internode space of the 4th and 5th leaf. At each node, a new stem will grow, giving you new branches. Once these branches have developed into main structural branches, you can prune again. Never make a cut close to the stem you want to remain. This helps keep pathogens from entering the main stem of the plant and prevents weakening of the main stem from a wound. Also, do not cut right at the node. Cut only in an internode. Now it's time to pick those ripe, delicious tomatoes. Keep these things in mind when harvesting. Fruit will always mature in the order that the tomatoes appear on the truss. The fruit closest to the branch stem will mature first. Your first clue that a tomato is ripe is its color. It should be a deep red, yellow, or purple, depending on the variety. Your second clue that a tomato is ripe is its hardness. The riper it gets, the softer it will become. A perfectly ripe tomato has some give, but is not mushy. The final clue that a tomato is ripe is that it should easily pop off the truss when it's ready to harvest. If you like, you can harvest the entire truss by cutting the stem, attaching it to the branch just behind the first peduncle, the flower stalk that supports either a cluster or a solitary flower, or by snipping the small peduncle to its individual fruit. Now, enjoy your fresh, sweet, juicy tomatoes. They're a perfect crop for beginning gardeners using a tower garden because just a little bit of effort delivers a whole lot of reward.